Yeah.
I'm coming in hot this time. Welcome to the motherfucking Fantasy Beer League Season 2. Let me start over. Welcome to Season motherfucking 2 of the motherfucking Fantasy Beer League. I'm your host, Sean Joyce. With me, as always, is motherfucking Justin Giel and our resident fantasy football expert, motherfucking Matt Senni. What are you guys looking to improve on this year in fantasy football or the podcast?
My record.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, I mean, I came in last. More to come from that. But probably my record.
And Senni?
Drafting better on my bench.
I'm going to try to curse less.
Oh.
So let's get into our first preview of the season. Draft is coming up soon. Football is in the air. I can feel it down in my plums. We're going to start with the Buffalo Bills, AFC East champions last year. Senni, who plays quarterback for the Bills?
Is it Josh Allen?
Jared Fogle.
It is Josh Allen.
Yes.
So you get to ice one of us. Vince, there's ices on the bottom shelf of the fridge.
Justin.
Okay.
Damn.
So while Vince is getting that for you, Justin, how about you tell me what your thoughts are on Josh Allen this year? How high are your expectations?
Pretty high. I mean, I think he was an MVP candidate last year.
Mm-hmm.
I really like him a lot. I doubted him for a while. Thank you. This is
Pink lemonade.
interesting.
Yeah.
I doubted him for a while, but now I'm a believer.
He proved me wrong last year.
Yep.
Over 4,500 passing yards and 37 passing touchdowns, only 10 interceptions. So he took care of the ball better than he normally does. Drastic improvement as a passer, and he still offers a shitload of rushing upside. He's at 8 touchdowns rushing in all 3 of his seasons so far. Nicely done.
So cold.
Yeah. So
Oh my God.
I have him as my third-ranked quarterback going into the fantasy season. And his top pass catcher, also someone we should talk about, Stephon Diggs, led the league in catches and yards last season. Do you think it's repeatable?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be a big fat problem for defense.
Big fat one?
Big fat problem.
I mean, I think he's pretty thin, but I agree with
He's
what you said.
very tiny. He looks like a mic stand.
Yeah, he's one of the best route runners in the league.
Yeah.
So he's always going to be able to create separation. The offense runs through him. I'm a huge fan of him. Not so high on any other player on that team. The running backs, I don't trust either of them. I don't feel good about Zach Moss or Singletary. I don't have any interest in either.
Yeah.
I do like the defense this year. You have to draft a defense. They have a nice, friendly schedule and a talented defense. And I love Tyler Bass. He's a kicker in a good offense. You need kickers, man.
You do.
Kickers are often forgotten. We don't talk about kickers enough. Younghoe Koo, Vince. That's
He just lost his
cleats.
Well, his car, right?
Yeah, well, they stole his Jeep, but he only cared about his cleats, which is funny as hell.
I mean, it's a typical Jeep owner.
Yeah. Well, I thought you were going to say something else, so way to keep it PG there, Justin. Let's move on and talk about the Miami Dolphins. No more Ryan Fitzpatrick.
No.
So how good could this team be with Tua under center?
I thought they were fine with him under center last year, but I want to see more of what he can do. I mean, I've always liked Alabama, so I have like that deep like rooting interest in him. I want to see him do well, but I don't know. You don't see many super successful left-handed quarterbacks in the league.
True. Yeah, I mean, I like Tua a lot, but I don't feel comfortable drafting any receiver on the team.
Yeah.
Mike Gesicki is the only one I would like, and he's still in that range of like kind of meh tight ends.
One of my coworkers just saw him like last month in Asbury.
Well, he went to Penn State, so I guess he could be from the area.
Yeah, I think he's from not Hackensack. We'll talk afterwards. It's down by LBI.
Okay.
That's where I grew up.
I don't think we're going to talk about it later. I think you're going to forget.
No, I'll remember it.
Okay. But, yeah, Devontae Parker, Jalen Waddle, Will Fuller V, they're all there. I don't feel great about any of them. They're all dart throws. I don't think one stands out above the other.
Mm-hmm.
I think Waddle's probably got the most upside. He has a history with Tua, and he's, talented. Man, okay. Thank you. All right. I guess that technically is later. I thought you meant off camera, but
I did, but
well,
I would have forgot if
yeah.
I did.
I'm glad I called you out. And Myles Gaskin, I know, is one of your favorite players, but he falls outside of my top 25. I don't know how that backfield's going to shake out.
I think he was one of my favorites last year because my roster was injury plagued and I didn't have much.
Yeah, and he was a good fill-in.
Yeah.
But I think that's all he was. I don't
Yeah.
expect, that same kind of success. So he falls outside my top 25.
Yeah.
A decent flex option, but not someone I'm reaching for, not someone I'd be comfortable with as one of my main 2 running backs.
Yeah.
And again, defense is solid, and Jason Sanders kicks his ass off. So 2 more defenses and kickers. This is going to be my niche for the season. I'm going to talk about kickers exclusively.
I'm going to go with the Bills for this matchup.
Okay, I would agree with you. Let's go on to the New England Patriots. Cam Newton or Mac Jones is going to be the starter. Question I have is, does it really matter?
I don't think so.
I couldn't. Every time you've ever asked me a question about them, I couldn't even name anyone else on the team other than Cam.
Yeah.
So that says enough.
Yeah,
honestly.
and he might not even start for the whole season.
I
wouldn't
think that's
expect him to.
unbelievable to think of Cam not starting.
Yeah, they drafted Mac Jones in the first round. He seems the perfect guy to run that offense. He's dopey and white, and he's not that athletic as a runner.
He's not throwing practice balls out to fans.
Right, yeah. So he seems like he'll fit with Bill very well. But that team is tough to like anybody.
Yeah.
Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry are both there. They're both great tight ends, but with both of them there, I don't think there's enough targets for either of them to have fantasy relevance this season.
I think the only way that they would have any kind of relevance would be in the red zone. And if you have Cam, a lot of times he's going to take the ball in.
True, that's also true. And they like to run when they get in
Yeah.
close. So one of them could break out, but I don't know. I don't feel great about drafting either of them as my primary
Right.
tight end. If one of them were to get injured, that may boost the value. But going into the draft, I would not advise drafting either of those guys. Move into the basement team now. Senni, can you name one player on the Jets?
Does Frank Gore still play for the Jets?
He does not.
That's really sad.
Where does he play?
He's a free agent.
And I know that
Wow.
they don't have Alex Smith anymore, do they?
I don't know.
They
that
never had Alex Smith. You're thinking of Sam
I'm
Darnold.
No. Yeah, I was thinking. No. I guess I was thinking of
Chad
another team that I
Pennington.
thought was bad.
The
I know that
Washington
Alex Smith
football
played
team.
for the Washington. Yes.
Yeah.
So that's what was coming up. in
Okay,
mind.
gotcha.
No, yeah, Sam Darnold, I knew played there, but I wouldn't have thought of it.
He's not there anymore either.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. But yeah, so exactly my point. There is not anybody on this team.
Do I know anyone on the Jets?
I don't know if
That
you
was
would.
pretty much everybody that I knew.
Yeah.
They drafted that quarterback.
Yes, Zach Wilson.
There you go. I know one guy on the Jets.
Zach
Even
Wilson.
him, I didn't remember his name.
Yeah, though they call him the Mormon Mahomes. So
Jeez.
he's on the Jets, so I doubt he'll live up to that nickname.
Unbelievable.
No.
But the only player that I like on this team is a guy named Michael Carter, who they also drafted, rookie running back. He's a sleeper pick. I'm not saying, he should be one of your top guys on your roster, but he doesn't have much competition for touches there. I know they have Tevin Coleman, who's been bounced around a bit and injury
Oh,
plagued.
God. I didn't even know you went there.
Yeah,
And they also have LaMichael Pirine, who's never flashed into anything successful. He's undersized. I think he's 5'8", so he's a little guy, likely to be used in the passing game. But he's an interesting late-round pick. I like his upside. And, on a team devoid of talent, he's somebody that I could see breaking out. The wide receiver room is suddenly crowded with the Jets. They signed Corey Davis in the offseason. He's probably their top target, but he's outside of, my top 40, maybe even top 50. So maybe a late-round flyer, but nothing that I'm excited about on that team. All right, let's talk about what we're drinking now that we've covered the AFC East. I am drinking the Peach Bellini slushy from 903 in honor of the Dallas Cowboys, who we'll cover in a bit. This is a really thick tart boy made with real peach and white peach. So it's nice. It's more of a smoothie than a beer. You can kind of see the pulp on the sides there. I know there are some beer purists who are anti-pulpy smoothie beer, but it tastes great, and that's really all I care about. So, Justin, why don't you tell me what you're drinking?
Sure. So I just went up to Boston this past week. I'm drinking a beer on behalf of the Patriots. Well, not on behalf, but you know what I'm trying to
They
say.
sponsored you to drink
Yeah,
it.
they Belichick handed me this can personally. I am drinking Julius, double IPA. Actually, I think it's just an American IPA.
That
And
wasn't a stutter. Is that the name of it?
Yes.
I
the
was
name on the
like,
can.
there's
No.
no way.
You can see that
did
there.
on
He didn't
purpose.
turn into Andy in the middle of the
Yeah.
podcast.
So this is a different batch than their normal Julius. I hate that I have to. I'm gonna stop pronouncing the beer by name. But it's got a couple different hops on there. They don't list it on here. I'd have to look on Untappd just to see what hop profile.
It's delicious.
Yeah, it is really
Yeah,
good.
it's
Of like their whole like Julius line, this one was always my favorite.
That's very, very good. Thank you for letting me have a sip.
Yeah, of course.
And Senni, why don't you tell us what you're drinking?
I'm drinking the Sun Surfer from Double Nickel here in Jersey. Is a blonde a type of beer? Because that's what it says. It's a
blonde
ale.
Blonde, brewed with oranges, dry hopped with mandarina. I know you guys have both had it many times. I think it's pretty good. Was looking for something local, so.
All right.
So that'd be
Representing
similar, I guess,
Jersey.
to like their Blue Moon.
Yeah. That
Yeah,
sounds
that actually is a good
about right.
explanation.
Yeah. And it's a solid brew. I've had that one.
Yeah.
All right, Senni. So we're about halfway through our episode. What do you want to talk about this week?
So I've been waiting to talk about gym apparel. Okay. So when you're younger, it's very, common that people, when they basically play any kind of sports, do any kind of fitness, you want to wear name brand. Obviously, the big one is Nike. When you're younger, you could get away with wearing Under Armour, Adidas. From personal experience with coaching, it's like you have Nike or nothing. Obviously, as you get older and you're going to like the weight room more, people get more into like the bigger name brands with the fitness industry specifically. So I'm very guilty of this if anyone is. I mean, I'm Mr. Name Brand. Most of what I wear is name brand. And I have fallen into this trap of buying the expensive gym apparel over the years. So, when you go to the gym, you'll notice people are wearing like, and I hate to name drop, but like Gymshark is a big one. Everyone wears Gymshark.
I thought he was talking about a person that he was naming.
No, especially like girls, it's like Gymshark is like the thing that they wear. And, if you want to buy anything from these companies, it's like $50 for like one pair of shorts or like one t-shirt. I actually own one Gymshark thing. It's a hoodie that's too small for me, and it was like $80. And when you buy these things, you're paying for like all the shipping, and sometimes it's coming from out of the country, and you're waiting weeks and weeks and weeks, and it's not worth the money. And over the years, I've basically realized that it's not really what the brand is; it's how you look in it. And I mean, when I was younger, I've obviously always thought I was bigger than I am. I wore like clothes that look ridiculous on me, that are like super expensive, because wasn't like the build to wear it. So like you'll see people wearing like these clothes that they just look ridiculous in because they're overpaying for them. So something that I've kind of realized over the last couple months is that you're better off buying cheaper clothes that like actually like fit well and like you look good in.
Yeah.
So I'll be the first person to tell you, like, I've looked at like people wear like these super expensive like short shorts or like tight shirts and tank tops, and I've been going to like the department store. So like whether you're going to like the Burlington store or like Marshall's or something, I mean they have stuff for way cheaper, much nicer stuff. I've gone on Amazon and bought like packs of shirts that I wear all the time now for way cheaper.
Yeah.
So I just feel like people fall into, and myself included, buying like this name brand stuff because the influencers are all wearing them. All the big dudes, all
the
like this,
ads.
and all the super hot chicks on Instagram, they're all wearing Gymshark. They're all wearing this stuff. And I'm saying that's a waste of money, especially if you don't look good in the clothes.
Yeah.
Buy clothes that, you're going to look good in, that fit well, save your money. Trust me, it's worth it. You're better off at the end of the day.
I think I've owned everything I'm wearing since 2012.
And that's what I'm like wearing things now that like I used to wear, that like I realize either I don't like it because it was like a waste of money, and then I'll find clothes that are like more basic that I'm like, wow, I fit better in this now, and I'm like happier. So I don't know. I've just kind of realized, like, especially with like fitness clothes or like gym clothes that you're gonna get like sweaty in and all that, you don't need to be wearing like.
That's the way I think about it.
Yeah.
Like, my only purpose of wearing it is to sweat in it. I'm not going to spend an exuberant amount of money on it.
Yep.
Just work out naked.
Yeah.
In public, if I could, I still probably would.
That's why you work out in your bedroom, so you can wear nothing.
Yeah.
That's what I did today.
Half of what I'm wearing actually came from Burlington. This shirt did not. I got this from Moe's. Me and Kenny went for Cinco de Moe's. So got a burrito and then got a shirt.
Nice.
Congrats.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the NFC.
Let's talk about football.
We hit a dead end.
Yeah.
So the Washington football team won the division. We'll start there. Fitzmagic has arrived. What are your expectations for him with Terry McLaurin and Logan Thomas? Specifically those two guys, because I think they're clearly the top two options on the team.
I think he can have a decent year. I don't think he's going to have a great year. Maybe I think decent year is where I would cap him at. I don't see them making a deep run with him, though.
I don't care about that.
Yeah.
I'm asking about Terry McLaurin and Logan Thomas specifically.
Oh, about those two. I think you meant with...
No, Ryan Fitzpatrick, if you draft him, you're a dumbass.
Oh, okay.
He's a quarterback 2 at best.
Yeah, okay. I think they're going to have decent years. He seems to... Fitzmagic getting them the ball. I think they'll both get their targets. They'll get their fair share. So I wouldn't draft them super high, but I wouldn't feel uncomfortable drafting either of them.
I am big on Terry McLaurin. I think he's a wide receiver 1 this season.
Yeah.
He had over 1,100 yards last season, only 4 touchdowns, which is a bit of a concern, but he had Alex Smith throwing him the ball. He had Taylor Heineke throwing him the ball. He did not have a consistent quarterback, and he still put up over 1,000 yards. And I'm not saying Ryan Fitzpatrick is an elite quarterback. He's never made the playoffs, so some people are delusional thinking that Washington's going to be this great team. And probably what is it now? August. So in like 5 months, when I'm wrong and they win a Super Bowl, I'll look like an idiot.
Yeah.
But I'm taking the stance right now that they're not winning the division. Doesn't matter. Ryan Fitzpatrick is who he is. He's Fitzmagic, then he's Fitztragic, but he's going to chuck that fucking ball.
Yep.
He's going balls to the wall every play. He'll throw it deep. McLaurin's a burner. I love Terry McLaurin this season. I think he finishes top 10 in his position. Logan Thomas, I'm not so high on. He's a fine player. He's got talent in a weak position, a weak fantasy position where there aren't very many good tight ends. There's really only 3 that you actually want.
Yeah.
So he's unlikely to post elite numbers, but he gets good value for a late round pick. And I always advise waiting on quarterback and tight end. Sorry, I meant tight end. Curtis Samuel also joined the team. I like him. He had a good season last year with the Panthers. He's a good late round flyer. I don't think he's going to be high on anyone's board, nor should he be. But he's solid. The other player on this team I want to talk about is Antonio Gibson. I think he could finish as a top 5 running back. That's my hot take for the season. He's going as a mid-tier running back too. So it's a good value pick. But he had 11 touchdowns as a rookie. When he came out last season, when he entered the league, Ron Rivera compared him to Christian McCaffrey upon entering his stage.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know why I had a stroke in the middle saying Ron. Fuck, that's fine. I think it was
over the
dramatic
top. Effect.
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't
All right, I'll hold on to my money. I need it now that I moved out. The question is, will the football team use Gibson like McCaffrey? The comparison is there. He was a do-it-all player at Memphis, running back, wide receiver. So we know he can catch. But J.D. McKissick is still there lingering for some goddamn reason. Caught 9 passes a game from Alex Smith. And again, they have Ryan Fitzpatrick, so that's not going to happen.
Is he the one with the superhero tattoo right
Yes,
in
he
the
has,
middle?
was it Batman? I think he's got a Batman tattoo on his chest.
Unreal.
More on that next week. I know
Yeah.
Senni's itching to talk about that. But yeah, Washington actually has some solid fantasy players this season.
Some teats.
They do have some teats, some nice titties, and some Ron Rivera. And the defense. I like the defense too. Let's move on to my team, the New York Giants. Main thing to talk about here is Saquon Barkley coming back from a devastating injury. What are your expectations for him this season, and how highly are you willing to draft him?
High expectations, just because I feel like a player like him, he's going to be hungry, and he's going to want to come out and show off.
Yeah.
Or not really show off, but show up.
Right.
This is what I should
Prove
say.
that he's back.
Yeah. I don't know. I want to say that I would take him high, but I wouldn't. I don't know that I would be confident in doing that.
What round? Let's pick a round.
I think I'd probably take him in the first round. I don't know that I would take him.
I think if I could
first 3 picks, but I think I would take him in the first round if he was still there.
I think if I could get him late in the first round, I'd pull the trigger on it. If he was still there in the second round, I'm taking him.
Yeah, I think back end of the first round.
Yeah.
is
I
where
would be
I'm
surprised if he was in the second round, honestly.
I mean, it really depends how risk adverse you are. I like him more than Zeke, but I have both of those guys 5, 6-ish.
Yeah.
For me, there's a top tier of running backs. We'll discuss more as the season, as we get in closer to the draft. But then there's a certain drop off where I'd rather have an elite wide receiver or a guy like Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
And then a guy like Saquon. So it depends how many people are in your league, but I think he's a first round talent, top 5, top 6-ish running back.
Yeah. I think in our league he'll probably go in the first round.
Yeah, but
Yeah, I think so too.
the only question is, another thing to consider, I should say, is that he may not be ready week 1. So you may have to wait. And the Giants obviously have him in their long-term plan, so they're not going to rush him back from this type of injury. He's a player to be cautious about, but the talent and the upside is undeniable.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think a first-round pick for Saquon, but a little bit lower than years previous. Last season, I was super high on Daniel Jones. I went as far as to call him Daddy Dimes, and that blew up in my face very quickly. And I don't want to say I'm back in on him, so I'm not going to. But he's a good runner. He throws a good deep ball, and they've added some weapons. Most notably, they added Kenny Golladay, the best wide receiver the Giants have had since OBJ. He's a touchdown machine, but I don't know that the Giants are capable of giving him enough targets to make him a consistent wide receiver 1 in fantasy football. When he was on the Lions, he obviously had that high target share and was able to post good numbers when he was healthy. But I don't know. I mean, what do you think with the weapons the Giants have? Is there enough volume for Kenny Golladay?
I don't think there is. I think when he was with Detroit, Stafford's kind of got that like gunslinger mentality. So he was the opportunity was going to present itself to him. Mm-hmm. You mentioned Daddy Dimes.
Yes, my boy.
He's got a good set of wheels on him, so he's going to move a lot. And then with Saquon coming back, that's going to eat up a lot too. So I wouldn't be super comfortable. He's still a great talent when he's healthy. Yeah. But he is prone to injuries as well.
I think he's a good real life player. I don't know so much about fantasy. Correct. I view him as a wide receiver 3 flex option. Mm-hmm. Before we move on, I just want to say a quick little fun fact. My ex-girlfriend made out with Saquon Barkley at a party. So it's like, we're best friends, Saquon. If you want to hit me up, we can discuss that.
Not really Eskimo brothers, but...
I was going to say that you indirectly made out with Saquon Barkley.
I know. I'm so happy about it, honestly.
If you're a female, you can be Samoan sisters.
I mean, I wish that they would have had sex, because then I could say, Saquon's my Eskimo brother. And he's just kind of like my Eskimo cousin.
Once removed.
Let's talk about a team you like, Justin, the Dallas Cowboys. What are your expectations for their offense with Dak returning?
Obviously, I think it's going to get a lot better than when they didn't have him last year. Mm-hmm. But I would kind of tread lightly. It was a horrific injury that he had.
Right, it was.
So if I'm the Cowboys, I'm not rushing him back. Although I think he's cleared to practice and everything.
I believe so.
But I think it's going to be high potent offense with him under center.
I would think so too. Senni, who is the coach for the Cowboys?
Dude, I couldn't have told you that in 2008 when I watched it religiously.
So his name is Mike McCarthy.
Definitely a name I've heard before. Could not have matched it with anything.
He used to be the Packers coach.
Yeah, you probably knew him as the Packers coach. Sense. He kind of looks like a thumb.
Yeah.
He's very oafish.
Like he's from Spy Kids.
Yes, that is exactly what he's like. He
kind of reminds me of Melissa McCarthy, maybe because
they're fat. That's because they're fat. It's
the last name.
And the last name.
Yeah.
They're both fat McCarthys.
Yeah, big fat problems.
But anyway, he is a total oaf. He is the only thing I see getting in the way of this offense.
Yeah.
I agree that they'll be high flying. I love CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper. I think they're both wide receiver 2s. Both guys I'm willing to draft as my second wide receiver. Mm-hmm. That's what that means. I don't want to confuse people thinking that I have them both ranked second on my board. But yeah,
Sammy's gonna keep rewinding this.
Yeah, wait, what did he say? What did he say?
Try to understand.
Yeah. And the defense is shit, so they're gonna have to throw the ball a lot. Bad defense, and I think Dak is talented enough.
It's a good fantasy offense.
Yes. I'm lower on Zeke than I've ever been. He had less than 1,000 rushing yards last season.
Pained me.
He's in more of a split with Tony Pollard than he's been in previous seasons. So he's had lower volume. His efficiency has not been great. And there's fumbling concerns. He got benched on a Monday night game where a lot of fantasy managers needed a big Zeke day. He fumbled twice and then didn't play the rest of the game. So he's outside of my elite tier. I've always said, you want the running backs, load up on the running backs early. I would definitely be looking to take an elite wide receiver before I took a guy in that tier with Zeke. And then the last place team of this division is the Philadelphia Eagles. With Carson Wentz officially gone, what do you expect to see from this offense?
I hope pain and suffering. Because you all know how I feel about the Eagles. But, I think they'll have an okay year, fantasy-wise. I think Hurts can do it both in the air and then on the ground.
Yeah.
Hurts, Ertz.
Ertz.
Yeah, Hurts, Ertz, and yeah, that might be it. That might be the only two people that Ertz definitely I would be, and even him I'm fading on.
I have no interest in Zach Ertz
Nah,
at
did you
all.
see his did you see his new hair?
I did not.
I'll look that up later.
I didn't
too.
know he was still there.
Okay.
I thought he was leaving.
Yeah, I didn't know.
I
he was
really
there
thought he
until-
was leaving.
I think he's the second best fantasy tight end on that team.
Got it. Yeah, first.
I would rather have Dallas Goedert.
I would too.
And he's a decent tight end. I think he's a tight end one. I mean, obviously, you have
Very shallow.
You have Travis Kelce, you have George Kittle, you have Darren Waller, and then there's everybody else. And even Kelce and Kittle are in a league of their own.
Yeah.
So if you're waiting on tight end and you want to wait till one of the last rounds to take one, I'd advise taking a guy like Dallas Goedert because he's going to get targets. He's going to be good. The Eagles are not going to be good.
Yeah.
They're going to have to catch up. They're going to be throwing a lot. That's part of the reason why I really like Jalen Hurts this season.
Yeah.
I am as a top 10 quarterback, partially because of the rushing, like you said, and because I feel like they're going to need to win in shootouts. They're going to be playing from behind quite often.
Yeah, they're not going to win a 10-7 game.
Right. I'm also pretty high on Miles Sanders. I'm usually very low on him. He's always been in a committee, but they had Doug Peterson, who I think is a moron. And now that he's gone and they have a new moron coach, I think this guy is going to want to use Miles Sanders.
You got Citriani? Or no, that's a good target.
Sirianni, I think. Yeah, no, it's not Joe Satriani.
There we go.
It's Nick Sirianni,
Okay.
I think. Vince did a little shred
Yeah,
over
so
there. But yeah, I don't know if you saw his first press conference, but he said something to the effect of, we want to employ strategies and put systems in place so we don't have to think, because when you're not thinking, that's when talent comes out. So he sounds like a fucking dumbass.
Yeah, I mean, if that's the case, I'm so talented.
But hopefully he's smart enough to know that Miles Sanders is the best player on his team. Doug Peterson never used Miles Sanders as often as he should, but he's a great pass catcher, great runner, good vision. If he's used with the amount of volume that he deserves, I could see him being a high-end running back too.
Yeah.
Top 15 type player. And then Devontae Smith is their new wide receiver. He's undersized, but I don't care about that. I think he's a talented guy, but I wouldn't take him as anything other than a late-round flyer and hope that he pans out. I just don't think that the Eagles are a good enough team right now for him to be a top 30 wide receiver. In time, it could happen.
Yeah.
He's probably a guy that would be good to stash for weeks 7, 8, 9, like that range. I could see him.
I would use him
having
during a
some
bye
good-
week and then after that drop him.
I wasn't suggesting that. I was going.
That's
with,
what I would do. I would draft
okay.
him, use him as a bye. Like say if I have Devontae Adams, throw him in during a bye week, drop him afterwards.
That's fair. I mean, I think that he's one of the most talented wide receivers coming into this season, coming into the league this year. But I just don't know how successful he could be in this offense. At least not early on.
He could be.
Yeah, I mean, I think he'll end up being the highest. I think he'll have the best receiving numbers on that team from their wide receiver group.
Yeah.
But I think it'll take some time to get there. I'm not sure that I'm willing to draft him. If I do, it would be very late. Anything else you guys would like to add before we wrap this up?
No.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for this week's episode of the Fantasy Beer League. We'll be with you every Wednesday starting now. I mean, not right now, but when you see this, it'll be now. It'll be Wednesday, August 1st. Is that the first day of the... No, it's not, is it?
That's Monday.
That's Monday.
No, that's Sunday.
That's Sunday. So the 4th.
4th, yeah.
August 4th. That's
quick
when you're
maths.
watching this. That's when this came out, as long as Vince did his
It wasn't
job.
accurate math, but it was quick.
Yeah, it was. It was bad math.
Yeah.
But anyway, we'll be with you every Wednesday, starting today, August 4th, which is definitely today. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at the handle @FantasyBeerLG. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube page, then unlike, unsubscribe, re-like, resubscribe. Keep boosting that number. Get us those algorithms that we need, the algorithms.
Yeah.
So I'm Sean Joyce. He's Justin Giel. And for the first time this season, here's Matt Senni with his advice of the week.
If you need new fitness clothes, get them at Amazon or your local Burlington store.
Shop at Burlington. Keep my friend employed. Have a good week. We'll see you next time.